sad tonight, and my sweetie said, I look like John Waters on his way to a funeral. What do you think? Sweetest thing she ever said to me. So I actually have two pieces. I actually have about 1 billion pieces because it's easy to get sad these days. One has 5 parts and the other one has 3 parts. So I am just going to they're triggery as fuck. I'm just telling you. First one's called Walking Sadness. How the size of everything changes compared to the size of everything else, and time doesn't take as long to waste as it used to take, and everyone leaves without saying goodbye, and the kittens turn into cats, and their fur gets dull and thin, and you do what you're told. You walk in shoes and eat vegetables and bathe, and you make it clear that death is not welcome here and only happens to other people, and this is indoors where you seal yourself in warmth and stillness, safe, you say, your idle feet itching to move, but damn if death doesn't come right on in with its icy fingers, though you thought you locked the door. How the fog starts as gentle, playful wisps and winds around pilings like a vixen on a stripper pole, and everything seems to be going fine, and it dances. You watch. It's the usual wafting. So you walk away to the kitchen to get more coffee. Not long, but you come back out, and it's fog, and it's thick, and it's working its way up the hill, the highway, the train tracks, the alley behind, and First Street, then Second and Third, up to where the streets turn into woods. And it's cold and sweaty like an unwelcome hand on the inside of a naked thigh, creeping up, a horror, a thigh too afraid to flinch, too tired to keep it from happening again, and you're surrounded by icy damp and you can't see or hope for anything else. And you walk, and this is the path you inevitably walk unless you stop, but that would be giving up, and you can't stop, you won't stop. How you walk down the street in tears, tossing your head after bursting out of your door, unable to bear the drumbeat of anger a minute longer, not dressed for outdoors, how you stride away from the nexus of pain, and then you realize anger is following, driving slowly because you walk slowly, hobbled by emotion. Just behind you, window rolled down, anger is hollering at you. The rage goes on for 3 or 4 blocks, or maybe only 2. This huge but only 2-person, 1-car parade of rage. But regardless, this is a long path, this trail of rage. In fact, an approximation of forever. You are walking forever, your feet burning on coals of rage and fear, Velcro to the other side of kindness. You have no other choice but to walk in search of kinder, cooler times. How regardless of the date on the calendar, the drum beats the number of times it needs to at the pace and the rhythm required, and the sky stays up there even while you walk through it. And only if you look up, only if you're up early enough and lonely enough, I promise you won't miss it. You won't look away at the moment autumn rolls in from the lake and covers you with the bright colors of death, and it will always remind you of that last time you saw your lover and you rode out to meet autumn, and you both knew this was the last time. How if you had known it was the last time, you would have been more careful, slowed down, asked more questions, said things you thought you'd have time later to say, done a better, kinder, sweeter, more thorough job, let passion surge when it wanted to, let them finish their sentences, avoided existing wounds, told the stories all the way through, watched your step, stayed until morning, put off sleeping to another night. Okay, so this is about how to live with pain. How do you live with pain that isn't yours? She's yelling ostensibly at you, but really just yelling. She She screams and screams, vomits loud words, erupting abuse and rage, purging venom. Her face is twisted, like someone in excruciating pain, even as harsh words land on you along with hot specks of her phlegm. You stand firm. You lift your open hand toward her head. She flinches and goes to push you away. No, 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 you soothe. Shh. She exhales, mouth still open but soundless. You gently cup her cheek and chin. You step toward her and kiss her, a deep and tender kiss. She begins to cry soundlessly, but she doesn't move away. She lets her body relax toward yours. This is what she needs. You encircle her with your arms and give her a big girl hug, although you're scrawny. Shh, you murmur, I love you. It's okay. How do you live without your pain? You've been waiting for a late train for hours. It's grown dark. The crowd is restless. Conversations have stilled into a hum of discontent. Now you peek over your pages to read each other like so many posters you don't agree with. Everyone desperately plugs in their dying devices, fighting over outlets. You too are desperate, but it's not your battery that is dying. You walk up to the stranger who has been openly staring at you with hate and resentment. She raises her chin. She wants you to see her as tall. She wants you to think about her teeth. You smile. She doesn't. When you ask her to slap your face hard, at least hard enough for it to sting, she recoils. But you see in her eyes that she will say yes. When she does, it is on condition the slap takes place around a corner with fewer witnesses, regardless of your evident consent. This is okay with you. When she finally hits you, it's not gentle at all. She doesn't hold back. Pain turns into outrage, turns into relief, and spreads through your body. You take a deep breath for the first time in hours. Again, you say, and turn the other cheek. How do you live when pain is your living? You're doing the dishes. He curls around your feet. Scrubbing the caked tomato sauce from between the tines of a fork, you casually kick him in the crotch. He whimpers and curls tighter, daring to grip your ankle with one clawless paw. He thinks your annoyance is a performance for his benefit, while you struggle to contain the urge to really hurt him. You think about pleasures that have nothing to do with him. Horses grazing in the golden light of a winter afternoon. Swimming in water so cold your skin doesn't know how to interpret it. How your head feels the first morning you wake up with only ordinary pain after 2 days of migraine. He is mewling now. You want to bring your boot down heavily into his face, but then there would be the mess of blood and brain tissue to deal with. How do you live with her pain? Your lover sobs when she feels herself succumbing to pleasure. How can you go on when you know her brother raped her? Her brother is dead now, a war hero. His remains returned draped in a flag with honor. One of the casualties of this war was to rob you of permission to hate the one who hurt her. And now she cries beneath your hands. Her chest heaves where your mouth touches it, regardless of how gently or roughly. Her genitals engorge with blood-red shame. She has no words, as she had no words when the hero violated her. Now she is yours, and you know her. If she could speak, you know she'd ask you to go on, and so you do. You drive her toward inevitable pleasure. You try to be as unlike him as possible. Femme to his male, vigilant to his vulgar, sweet to his cruel. You smother her shitty memories in kisses and tender attention. Still she cries hard like a child. You hide your anger. It is not for her. It is for everybody else in the world And presently, specifically, the last thing she needs is bloated old men on television denying her. You decide to send each of these men a beaker of your lover's tears, which are explosive and deadly to the guilty, but harmless to the innocent. How do you live with all the pain in the world? Thank you.